Here's your sports rush for August 20th, 2026. 6 stories. Let's go. Barcelona is back at Camp Nou, and the club marked it with a trophy. Barca beat Ahly 2-1 to win the Joan Gamper trophy, in one of the first major matches back at the newly renovated stadium. Hamza Abdul Karim opened the scoring, and Rafinha added a penalty before Ahly pulled one back in the second half. More than 54,000 fans packed the stands for the occasion, which is exactly why this result matters more than a typical preseason friendly. Subscribe for daily sports highlights and news. The Milwaukee Brewers put on an offensive clinic. Milwaukee blanked the Seattle Mariners 22-0, tying the franchise record for runs in a game and matching the modern-era record for margin of victory in a shutout. Christian Yelich, David Hamilton, Jake Bauers, and Luis Lara all went deep, with Hamilton going 3 for 5 with a career-high 4 RBIs. Kyle Harrison struck out 8 over 5 shutout innings to seal it. It's the Brewers' biggest offensive night since a 22-2 win over Toronto back in 1992, which is exactly why a night like this gets remembered for decades, not days. Subscribe for daily sports highlights and news. The Golden State Valkyries are going back to the playoffs. Golden State beat the Dallas Wings 78-70, clinching a playoff spot for the second straight season, the team announced. Gabby Williams led the way with 23 points. It's a follow-up to a historic debut. The Valkyries made history last year as the first expansion team ever to reach the playoffs in its first season. Making it back again this year, in year 2, matters because it turns one good season into a real pattern for a new franchise. Subscribe for daily sports highlights and news. A Little League World Series performance worth remembering. Nicaragua's Clemente Sevilla Pichardo struck out 12 batters over 5 2/3 innings, and he wasn't done there. He also cut down the potential tying run at home plate in the 6th inning to help preserve the lead. Nicaragua held on to beat the Dominican Republic 2-1 in Latin America region play. What makes this stand out is the age. For a 12-year-old on the sport's biggest amateur stage, that's the kind of two-way performance most professionals would take. Subscribe for daily sports highlights and news. The Little League World Series delivered another instant classic. Washington beat Alabama 2-0 in extra innings, needing a 7th inning to settle it. With 2 outs and the game still scoreless, Kaysen Workman singled to right field to drive in the go-ahead run, and an error let a second runner come around to score right behind him, which is exactly why this game will stick with these kids for the rest of their lives. A 2-out, extra innings hit on national television with everything on the line. Subscribe for daily sports highlights and news. The wait is almost over. The 2026-27 Premier League season kicks off Friday night, with defending champion Arsenal hosting newly promoted Coventry City to open the campaign. The opening weekend is loaded. London derbies see Brentford host Tottenham and Fulham host Chelsea, with matches running through the weekend. Arsenal enters as the team to beat after last season's title run, but that's exactly why every other club in the league will be chasing them from kickoff. Subscribe for daily sports highlights and news. That's your sports rush for today. Subscribe so you never miss a day.